What I'm going to suggest is the constant danger of being an authority and being a leader in any way, shape, or form is that you become a jerk.
If men are supposed to love their wife like Christ loved the church, what does that look like in a marriage? Which I think have you really talked about this?
Yeah.
I know these questions run together at some point. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a video on like how to be a husband that's online that some of you might have seen. But just going through the biblical examples of this. So the New Testament affirms, I'll just make a cool observation about this. The New Testament affirms a husband's leadership in the home, right? The wife submits to the husband, that sort of thing. So it affirms the headship of the husband in the home, which I take to mean primarily he gets like the final call in matters related to the household. Not that like he's like, wear those shoes, not those. Submit, 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 every single thing. Like peanut butter more. Like I don't know that it's meant to be that. But whenever the New Testament talks about leadership, it never emphasizes the authority of the leader. It emphasizes the danger of their own leadership. It's kind of interesting how this works. So Jesus talks about the apostles, and they're like, who's going to be great among us, right? And they were talking about this, and he responds, the Gentiles, they lord it over, their rulers lord it over, but not amongst you. Whoever's great among you will be the servant of all. What I'm going to suggest is the constant danger of being an authority and being a leader in any way, shape, or form is that you become a jerk. You are inconsiderate to the people around you. You don't think carefully about the consequences of your decisions on their lives. You do things because you want to do them and not because they'll be a blessing to others, which is why Jesus says, let's make it about servanthood. So I think the husbands, interestingly, when you apply this to marriage, the husband is never told to lead his wife in the Bible. Now, his leadership is affirmed. Don't get me wrong. This is where the progressive will be like, he's never told to lead his wife. So there is no leadership. Right? No, like let's read the whole Bible in context. Like there's definitely headship for a husband, submission from the wife. That's true. But why is it that the Bible never seems to tell a husband you have to lead? Because the greater concern is that the man would be lovingly self-sacrificial to his wife. This means it will feel like you have lost your power because your power is meant to serve someone else.
That's a good point.
And that's healthy. So this is why, I'm like, hey, yeah, if there's a sacrifice to be made between us, I try to choose her as much as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. And I do it really well, all the time. But I mean, as long as I'm thinking godly about things, that's what I do. So the danger of people in leadership is they abuse people they lead, they frustrate them with bad behavior and decisions, inconsiderate stuff. They devalue them by putting themselves first over. You guys do it too. Like here I come and, oh, here's a table. We got a table set aside for Mike. Like you get the preference that comes with the leadership role.
Right.
That can be dangerous and shouldn't exist in the home. Like I don't care if a dad has his own chair in the house. But if he's not serving his home with his leadership, then that's not Christian. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the New Testament instructions. This is why, I'll just read it to you. It's not about, man, you need to lead, although you do, but you won't fail in that way. You'll fail in this way. This is why the instruction is to you this way. So husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. In the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church, because we are members of his body. Do you notice the theme? Husbands, your leadership is for your wife's benefit. This is the upside down treatment of leadership. New Testament affirms authority and leadership in all different realms: government, church, family. But the function and purpose of it is different than the world. And I think that's really important.